Whoa, 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 cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Got two left feet, get on the ballroom beat. They're dancing in the street, they're on the ballroom beat. We can tango, we can swing, we can do anything. Walking through the door and waltz on the floor. You wanna feel the heat, get on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Foxtrot on the ballroom beat. Salsa on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat.
Welcome to On the Ballroom Beat. I'm your host, Megan Wittstein, sitting in for Lania today. Later on the show, Brittany Coy, who is our wedding specialist at Arthur Murray Palm Harbor, will be joining me. If you're getting ready for the big day, then today's episode is definitely for you. But first, I'd like to take a few minutes and talk about the exciting workshops that happened at Arthur Murray Palm Harbor last week. Ryan DeLello from So You Think You Can Dance and Chelsea Hightower from Dancing with the Stars and So You Think You Can Dance came by Arthur Murray Palm Harbor to teach the staff and students. They were in town for Dancing Pros Live, and we were lucky enough to get them over to the studio to do a little bit of workshops. There's the staff with them. You could tell by our smiles we were really excited. Let me first talk a little bit about Ryan's workshop. Now, the ladies were really excited to have Ryan in the studio. One of our students, Lil, we actually have a picture of her and Ryan. You could tell by her smile ear to ear that she was really excited to have him in the studio. While the ladies were a little bummed he didn't take off his shirt, that stayed at the show, Ryan was definitely a top-notch teacher during his workshop. Aside from his good looks, he was able to bring some fun and sassy moves to his salsa combinations workshop. There's our students doing their thing with Ryan, working a little bit on technique as well. He taught our students some combinations that could be used for social dancing and choreography as well. One of the things that our students enjoyed so much was that he was able to teach both ends of the spectrum as far as our students who have been doing this for a long time and were a little bit more advanced. He taught them some technique as well as a few elevated steps that they could work on. And our beginner students as well were able to take this workshop and add a few more moves to their repertoire as far as their salsa dancing goes. Ryan and Chelsea were sweet enough to stay after and take some pictures with us. I know all the students were really happy about that. I was lucky enough to grab Ryan for a dance pose and a picture, and I have to say, his lead is just makes you want to melt. It is fantastic, so I'm really happy I got that picture as well. Another great workshop went on that same day with Chelsea Hightower. Her workshop focused on ladies' styling and showmanship. So she taught our ladies how to style their dancing in a way that showed true emotion and beauty. There's all the ladies working on their styling. I know it was really helpful for our competition students as well, even our social dancer ladies as well. As if her styling wasn't enough, Chelsea was sweet enough to bring the ladies into a little circle and talk to them about confidence in your dancing. Now, I thought this was really moving because hearing her talk about how adding a little bit of self-confidence in your dancing and knowing that what you're doing is beautiful really elevates it, and it translates to the audience. Another thing that she talked about that I felt was really important was stretching. A lot of our students are so on the go that they come in, they rush in, throw their bag down and jump right on to lesson. And while this is okay sometimes, it's good to come in a few minutes early and stretch. A lot of our students are skipping out on that, but she made sure that before going into her workshop, she grabbed all the students with Ryan, jumped on the dance floor, and they did a really good stretch. This helps with elevating your dancing, feeling a little bit more comfortable while you're doing your moves. It'll also help avoid injury and learn the moves a little bit faster. So thank you, Chelsea, for that. For our ladies who are in competition, she talked about picking a dance, and then let's say I wanted to do rumba, and then picking the emotion that I wanted to portray to the audience while doing this dance. She's talking about having this mindset before going into your dance of knowing I want this rumba to look either romantic or sensual. This translates into our dance and shows to the audience. This way, this feeling that we're having shows into our styling and our showmanship, and we're really able to give that emotion to the audience. So we were really happy about that, and I hope our ladies will be using that at competition. Ruth Eckerd Hall was kind enough to donate a couple of tickets to their show Dancing Pros Live to one of our students who was the lucky winner in the workshop, and that winner was Carol Carosa. There's her with Chelsea right there. She really enjoyed the show. I actually talked to her yesterday, and she talked about how it was very full of energy. There was lots of dancing, and it was sort of like the show So You Think You Can Dance as well. And I know in their little competition that went on, Ryan actually won, so we were rooting for you, Ryan. Don't forget to join us for a special interview with Ryan DeLello on our March 4th episode, as well as an interview with Chelsea Hightower on our March 11th. Here's a sneak peek.
Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Got two left feet. Get on the ballroom beat. They're dancing in the street. They're on the ballroom beat. We can tango, we can swing, we can do anything. Walk in through the door and waltz on the floor. You wanna feel the heat? Get on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Foxtrot on the ballroom beat. Salsa on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat.
I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to see those exclusive interviews, as well as a little bit more of the dancing that happened in the workshops. In just a few minutes, we'll be back with some tips and dips for your big day with our wedding specialist, Brittany Coy.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Beltran Dental Surgery is dedicated to providing the highest quality dental surgery.
Teeth in a Day allows a patient to walk in with their old teeth, sleep under IV sedation, and walk out with a brand new smile. Unlike dentures, Teeth in a Day allows you to eat what you want and still feel like you have your own teeth.
From wisdom teeth removal to implants or creating a whole new smile, call now or visit our website to learn more about our procedures. Get a brand new smile today.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist. Believe me, Dr. B and his worker bees are the best. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
The last several years have been confusing and trying for homeowners. Advisors Mortgage and Financial Group was there before the housing crisis, during, and we are still here now advising people of their options and helping them choose the best financial solutions for their family. You do have options, and today's market promises lots of opportunities. We have found that there are a lot of questions out there and misinformation, and we want you to know we have answers. Advisors Mortgage and Financial Group, providing solutions today for a better tomorrow.
And we're back with Brittany Coy, our wedding specialist at Arthur Murray Palm Harbor. It's a pleasure to have you.
So great to be here.
Today we're going to be talking about some of the important things to consider when you're planning that big day and getting ready for your first dance. We're going to be talking about attire, from your dress and shoes, how it will affect your first dance, as well as venues such as floor size and audience placement, so that your teacher can plan those perfect photo moments, as well as song and character, bonus dances, and the infamous question of how early should we start, because we hear that all the time at our studio.
We do.
So we're going to clarify that, all of that and more. But first, let's take a look at what the teachers at Arthur Murray Palm Harbor like to teach their wedding couples.
Hello, my name is David, and my wedding tip for you all is my favorite kind of dip is actually coming from a turn, and it's specifically a free turn, meaning that the lady will turn without holding on to the man. This allows for her to show off her wedding dress before she goes into the dip.
Hi, my name is Misha, and my favorite dip is roll into lean. I like it because it looks just great and it's easy to do that as well.
Hi, I'm Megan, and my favorite wedding dip is the Around the World. This gives the gentleman a really good chance to show off his lovely bride.
Hi, my name is Brittany, and my favorite wedding dip is called the same foot lunge. And I like it because it looks very elegant and shows off the bride's beauty.
Those were some awesome tips and dips. They were fantastic, and I know those are really commonly done around our studio because the ladies do love those dips. So Brittany, let's talk a little bit about attire. Now, I know when it comes to a wedding shoe, not only do the brides want to go with that higher heel so that they get a little extra height, but also sometimes it's very different for the guys to have that really fancy shoe on. What's the best way to get used to moving in such a specific shoe?
That's a really good question. So normally what I do is a couple lessons into the journey of the first dance for my wedding couples. I'll encourage not only the bride but the groom as well to bring in the shoes, the exact ones they're going to wear on the special day, so they can get used to the feel on the floor and the feel of dancing in them, because dancing feels a little different regardless if we're barefoot or in a higher heel. Now, I know you talked about the higher heels. I have some brides that they really want to add that height to their big special day and feel a little bit taller, and that's great. But I also have some brides that are getting married on the beach and they want flip-flops or even just flats. So I encourage them to bring in the shoes. And again, it's one thing to try it out on our dance floor, but it feels very different than some other floors that they might be on.
Absolutely.
So I also encourage them to bring it to the venue and try it out there as well. And including the groom, like I said, those dress shoes, it's good to try them out too, guys.
Making a point to have some time and practice on the actual dance floor, maybe the day before or even the day of. I know it's bad luck to see the bride before the wedding, but if you could do it the day before and get a little bit of practice on the actual dance floor, that does make all the difference. Another thing with the shoes is that the different soles of the shoe can make a difference when dancing on a dance floor. I know we talk a lot to our guys about avoiding a rubber sole because this will help you not stick as much, and with the brides that even some of the heels have that really sticky sole. So finding a good shoe that works best for you is important.
Definitely.
Now, another thing about attire is the dresses. I mean, it's one of the highlights of the big day, and I know we have to get used to that feeling of such a heavy, big dress, but none of the brides want to give away the secret of what it looks like to their fiancé. So what's the best way to get used to the feeling of the big, heavy dress without giving away anything of what it looks like?
Okay. Well, normally, again, a couple lessons in, so I have this moment where I take the bride, take her aside, and I say, can you show me a picture of your wedding dress?
It's exciting.
It is so exciting. It's a really cool moment for me and the bride, just to talk about, you know, how she feels in it and describe it to me, but then she shows me the picture, and of course she looks beautiful in it. And it gives me a little better idea when I'm planning the choreography, what dips, what tricks we can do, what's going to be in her way, what's not. Now, of course, I actually have the privilege of having had some experience working for a bridal shop. So I know a little bit about the wedding gowns, which is very, very helpful. I know that they can always be bustled, which is great because those long trains are gorgeous, whether they have lace or beading, but it's great to kind of get it up so you can have a little fun during the reception, right, and dance. Also, there's undergarments. I don't know if anyone knows this. I don't want to get too private, but there are some undergarment pieces that go under certain bridal gowns. And if you're one of those brides that wants to feel like a princess for your big day, go for it. You're going to look like a princess. You're going to feel like one. It's awesome. But sometimes that big poof can be a little challenging for our dance moves. So,
absolutely.
So here's my trick. Here's my tip to you brides, okay? You're going to get that slip from your bridal store, wherever you got your dress, and you're going to wear it over your jeans, over your slacks, over your skirt. I don't care. No matter how silly you feel, wear it a couple times, at least once or twice. Come in with it, dance with it, get used to that feeling. Now, the slips are made with something called crinoline. So in English, it's just big poofy material, right? So for the guys,
behind the fluff, right?
The secret. There's always a secret. So all the wedding designers, actually, when they make dresses, I don't know if anyone knows this, but they're designed to have those slips underneath. Some brides are like, oh, I don't want the slip. I don't want to feel extra poofy, right? It's hard enough sometimes, not girly girls. They just want to kind of have a straight down dress. So the poof is a little bit hard to handle and get used to. But that crinoline, one, you can cut it out and kick it down a little bit. And if you do decide to have it, the gentleman can get used to the feeling as well. So again, wear those slips. Guys, don't make fun of her. And it's not going to give away any secret. This is what I love about it. It gives away no secret of the wedding dress because every wedding dress has to have a slip underneath.
That makes perfect sense. I know, back to the wearing the crinoline over your jeans or whatever you have to. It reminds me, we had this student, she was actually in the military, and when she'd come in for her lessons, she was usually rushing back from work, and she'd still be in her boot camp military outfit. She'd throw on the crinoline over top of it and start practicing. And honestly, talking to her and her fiance, she said it was a great way to get used to the dress and letting her fiance adjust the lead so that it wouldn't be in the way on the day of. So that's a very good point.
It is.
Let's move on to venue.
Okay.
Now, there's a bunch of different questions when it comes to floor size. What's your opinion on a good floor size?
Well, they range. I don't think I've ever had the same size of a floor. I don't think any couple has come in and said, oh, it's exactly the same size every single time. So a lot of that depends on what dance that you choose. You know, if you have a really big floor, I encourage you to use it and show off a beautiful waltz or a foxtrot, something that moves, really a lot of movement around the floor and showing off the bride. Because I always encourage people, you're gonna look so great, both of you, on that day, and so much happy emotion's gonna be on your face. And it's not a competition, I always tell my couples, but it is a performance, and your family and friends are gonna be there celebrating such a special moment with you, that show her off, travel her around the floor.
Absolutely.
So if it is a bigger floor, I say waltz, or again, some dance that moves.
And again, even if it's a smaller floor, sometimes it's nice to have that small, intimate rumba or even a salsa or a swing. Those smaller dances that take up less room are still turn out to be so beautiful in the long run as far as wedding dances. Now, building off of venue, audience placement. It's very important. I know this is where you get into those moments of planning the perfect time for a photo. Now, whether you have your videographer, your head table. You want those good moments so that they can get all the footage and all the right pictures and the perfect view. How do you adjust to make this happen so it works nice for everybody?
Well, normally what I tell, and this is actually for any groom that's watching, or brides, make your groom watch this, if they're leading you around the dance floor, a lot of times I'll set up, even if you don't have choreography, right? You have no set choreography, you just want to lead and follow, be able to enjoy each other on that day. I'll set up points where there's those Kodak moment opportunities, if you will, or that we do those dips, kind of like we saw, right? That we can always plan them and make sure the guy poses her right in front of the photographer. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know every time I've seen our wedding couples practicing that dip, we always encourage, you're going to rush a little bit because there's nerves. It's the big day. It's so exciting. But really hold that dip for as long as you can, because that way everybody gets their picture. The parents at the head table get their beautiful view. They get to see that moment and be really happy. And that way it's not so rushed and you don't end up with a blurry picture coming back up from the dip.
Oh, I want to add one more thing to that too. Just if you're coming to our studio and it is going to be your special day, another thing, if you could tell us, it would be really helpful, is how it's going to be laid out at the venue too, right?
Absolutely.
If it's a U shape, or is it more of an oval or a square? And it gives us instructors, especially if I'm planning your wedding choreography, a little bit better understanding. So keep that in mind when you come.
Now, I know it's important to sometimes have your song picked ahead of time. Yes. However, I think honestly one of the more important things to have picked ahead of time is the feeling you want to be portrayed to the audience. Yes. Now, when it comes to wedding dances, we see a lot of different kinds. What are some of the different styles that you personally have seen?
Right now, the main one, the most popular one, I would say, is rumba. Almost 90% of songs that my couples come in with, rumba goes so perfectly with that song. Now, it's because of the couple's preference. Going back to that, you said there was options, and there are, but a lot of couples want that very intimate, romantic, slow dance with each other, and instead of just swinging back and forth, that's why they come to Arthur Murray, is we teach them how to properly partner dance and lead and follow, just like in life. There's lead and follow in different roles in the marriage. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, other than just the slow romantic, I know recently we've actually seen a lot of couples coming in saying, I want something that's fast and upbeat. I want everybody to keep their energy up. So recently we've been seeing a lot of swings as far as first dances. People come in with an upbeat song and they want something that's really going to get the wedding up and moving and everybody on their feet. And again, that can be just as beautiful and romantic as that slow dance. Those are really fantastic.
It's all about preference.
A common question about the song choices, couples are often worried, can you choreograph without the actual song? And now this is something we see all the time, and I know that's a big worry for couples. What's your opinion on that?
Guys, if you're worried, couples, if you're worried, absolutely, that's not a problem. That's why you come to us, right? You come to us and you say, I want a beautiful dance and I want it to either be more upbeat, like a swing, right? We know what we're going to start planning for you. You want it to be very romantic, like a rumba or a waltz. We'll go ahead and start planning that. I have a couple right now. I'm so proud of them. They're amazing. They practice all the time and they have their steps down and their dips and they're wonderful. But they actually have not set their mind to one song yet. They're kind of debating between two.
Oh, wow.
So we've been able to keep right along with their choreography, if you will, without any trouble.
And I mean, again, I think that also plays off of the feeling, because if you want a slow romantic dance, you don't need the song to decide that it's going to be either a waltz or a rumba, or if you want that fun upbeat dance, or if you want something Latin. If you're able to have the feeling picked, we can start choreographing and putting something together without an actual song, and then when the song gets picked, you just pop the choreography right into place and it works out pretty well. Something else that's really important with weddings is people are always thinking first dance, but there's a lot of other dances that people come to us asking about. What are some that you've found have been most common?
Salsa.
Salsa?
I don't know what happened, but salsa was really popular. It wasn't, but now it is. So everyone's coming to me and they want salsa kind of as that during the reception.
It's a reception dance.
Yes. If they had a more serious romantic dance during during their first dance, then they kind of choose to liven it up, or maybe vice versa, right? But salsa is definitely one. Hustle, another one, right? Usually the parents like the hustle, right? Kind of if
Absolutely.
they grew up in the disco hustle age, right? It comes back.
I know another one that's getting really common is we're seeing a lot of parents wanting to come in and either do a daddy-daughter dance, a mother-son, or even the parents do their own dance. And I know we actually had this one couple, the wife's daughter was getting married actually, and she wanted to do this really upbeat dance to that song Happy by Pharrell.
Yes.
And they were so dedicated coming in, practicing, and then they surprised on the wedding and had this beautiful choreography. And it was really nice to have something other than just the first dance. I know, again, talking about reception, a lot of common reception dances are the swing, salsa, like you said, and even sometimes, like you said, when we have the couples that come in and want to do an upbeat dance, they'll slow it down and want to have a couple of rumbas during their reception as they're dancing as well. I feel like that really gives an extra exciting feel to the big day. Now, one more thing I want to talk about before we go is how early should we start? This is so important because we hear it all the time. Personally, I think 4 to 6 months is a great amount of time for you to get choreography, feel comfy with it, and really, have it down pat to where you feel ready to go for the big day. What amount of time do you think?
No, I agree with the 4 to 6 months, but I will say this, as soon as possible. Ladies, it's just like picking out your wedding dress. You can't do it soon enough. And not for nothing, but it is a stress relieving thing to dance, right? Dance has so many great benefits, but stress relief is one of them, and as exciting as the time is of your life when you're engaged and prepping for your wedding, it can be a little hectic. I know my couples,
absolutely,
instead of going to the caterer or meeting with the DJ, they are so happy to come in for their lesson, and they go, this is our one time a week where we get to breathe and relax. We love coming here. So for that reason alone, it is never too early to start coming in. If you come to me and you're like, my wedding's not for 2 years, but Brittany, make me a wedding dance, I am not going to argue with you at all, and we will get started that day.
Absolutely. And again, on the other side, if you're past that 4 months, you're getting really close, don't panic. We have had lots of couples come in with not a lot of time and say, listen, we need this wedding dance. We don't have a lot of time, and that's all right. Our choreographies are fantastic, especially Brittany being our wedding specialist. She's able to put together routines that are fast and fun in that short amount of time, so don't panic if you're worried about that. One more thing. Dancing with the Stars season 20 is released. The cast was out, and I know it was stirring up a lot of conversation in our studio. Now, we're talking a little bit about who you're most excited to see. Honestly, I'm a little bit biased because I got to meet Tony Dovolani and dance with him. I'm going to be rooting for him. I think his partner this year, I think they're going to do well. I'm really excited. I believe his partner is Suzanne Summers, and I really think they have a good chance at it. I'm hoping that they're going to do well. As well as Derek Huff's big surprise saying he wasn't going to be on this season.
So he wasn't going to come back.
And now here he is with an Olympian. That's really exciting. I'm thinking they might come in and steal the competition, but who are you most looking forward to seeing?
Well, I've always been a huge fan of Mark Ballas. I would just, if I forgot to meet him one day. But anyway, I am so excited because I am the biggest Hunger Game fanatic that you will probably ever meet.
Absolutely.
And he is partnered up with, if you're familiar with the books or the movie, is Primrose Everdeen. It's Katniss' little sister.
Right?
Yes. So the little
exciting.
sister is actually going to be on the show with Mark Ballas. And do you know that she is the youngest contestant to ever be on Dancing with the Stars?
That's exciting. Well, she'll have a vote from me because I'm a Hunger Games fan as well.
Yay!
Well, next week, Ryan DeLello will be on the Ballroom Beat. Lania will be back with an exclusive interview as well as talking a little bit more about season 20's cast for Dancing with the Stars. Make sure you tune in. I'm Megan Wittstein, and thanks for joining me on the Ballroom Beat.
Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cha-cha on the ballroom beat. You got 2 left feet. Get on the ballroom beat. They're dancing in the street. They're on the ballroom beat. We can tango, we can swing, we can do anything. Walking through the door and waltz on the floor. You wanna feel the heat? Get on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom. the ballroom beat. Salsa on the ballroom beat. Cha-cha on the ballroom